It's a Tom Ford kind of day. So everything I have on my face right now is Tom Ford, and today we were looking at the Iconic Smoke. Now, this does say it is the creme formula, but from what I understand, its description is micro velvet in its feel formula. So it's the creme formula, but different. Why? I don't know. I don't know is my answer. I don't know. So everything else on my face, Tom Ford. The Tom Ford blush I have on is the Valentine's Day blush, and it actually is a very pretty color, but it's not pink. I did a video with it. It's more of a coral. It's a very pretty coral, and I think it looks really nice on, but it's not pink. So when you look at it, especially in the pictures, you know, pink Valentine's Day, it's not. It's called Love Scene. I did that blush in the video where I showed you Honeymoon. And sad to say, the new formulation of Honeymoon, which I have seen, which is the one with the hearts on it for Valentine's Day, it is not the same formula as the old one that I have. So the video that I did with Honeymoon, I think Honeymoon is one of the most beautiful quads. It's a very deep, rich quad. It doesn't have a light shade in there. If you're somebody who feels like you have to have a light shade in your eye look, it does not have that. However, I think it's beautiful. But the new one is not nearly as pigmented, and in my opinion, not as nice. So, unfortunately, it goes along with the video that I did about the quality of new cosmetics. And if you're new here and you haven't seen that video, hi, my name is Jennifer. I was a makeup artist for Chanel half a lifetime ago. Here on my channel, we do all things luxury, beauty, fashion. It runs the gamut, and I try to upload 2 to 3 times a week. So back to Iconic Smoke. I'll have the swatches go up so you can see the swatches. And if, you know, when I look at these, what immediately calls to my attention is how beautiful and I'm calling it taupe. I don't really know if it's taupe, but I'm calling it taupe. How beautiful the taupe shade is. Like, it is gorgeous. When I swatch it, it's smooth, it's beautiful, it's rich, it's like a satin, it's beautiful. The tan goldy shade is fine. Like, it is fine. The bottom shades, the smoky shades, that really beautiful gray blue and then that gray shade, they're not as interesting. Now that might be okay, you know, depending on what you're looking for, but I just feel like, in a way, if I were to look at all these shades, like, this is the one that I would want to be the most interesting. That's what my eye is drawn to. So I'm not, you know, I'm kind of like, meh. So anyway, we're going to try it out today. I have nothing on my eyes, so you guys can see it in real time. I will fast forward when I'm just blending and stuff, but this way you can see it as I do the look. I'm going to use the Sky Set from Sonia G today. These are goat hair. They pick up a lot. They're kind of like, this is the better level, but not the best. It's just, you know, kind of that mid-range thing. They're not super soft though, so they should pick up more pigment. We'll just see how this works. Now, with this quad, I think there's a lot of different ways you can use it. I think one of the ways that would be really flattering for a lot of people is to take this shade, put it on the eyelid. This shade to put it either on the inner and outer corners as like a halo eye, or just put this on the outer corner and then smoke it out with these shades. This blue shade, this blue-gray shade is very, very pretty. So that's one way to do it, like on the outer corner. You won't get to see as much of this shade. You could also take the blue-gray shade and just put this shimmer shade like all over it as a dusting. I think that would be really, really pretty if you love the bluish gray. You could also take this shade, the taupey shade, and put that all over the lid, because that would be more impactful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by taking this bluish gray shade and putting it in the crease. Let's see how it works. And then if we feel like we want to put this all over the lid at the end, we can do that sort of on top and see how that works. Because sometimes when you try to put a shade on top of a shade, if the formula isn't great, it doesn't work very well. So we're going to go ahead and start over here. Now, I did get my eyelashes laminated, so I'm not going to be doing mascara today. I hope that doesn't totally ruin the look, but I don't think it will. because my lashes actually are pretty decently long. So I think that should work. Okay, so what I would say about this blue shade, this bluish gray shade, and I feel like I have this shade somewhere and I can't think, you know what it is? It's the Dior. It's the Dior Eden Rock. It finally hit me. I've been looking through my stuff trying to figure out where this blue shade is. It's Dior Eden Rock. That's what this reminds me of. I'm gonna have to pull that out. Okay, so this is going on well. It is more impactful on the eye. I do not have primer on because I try to do these looks when I first use something without a primer. They will look better with a primer, just as a general rule. Yeah, this reminds me of Eden Rock. That's what this reminds me. I was trying to place it and I couldn't think of what it was. It's Eden Rock. I'll pull it out. But yeah, this is a really pretty blue. It's that grayish blue. I tried to pull that kind of color out in what I was wearing today to emphasize that, because if I was somebody looking at this palette, that's the color, frankly, that I would be drawn to. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, the taupe shade in here is quite beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful shade. It's like Eden Rock. Like I said, I'll get it out, the Eden Rock out at the end so we can compare, but that's what it is. All right, so now let's take the creamy shade and let's just see how thick this is and how like it goes over the blue. Because if you remember with the Eden Rock, when you put the light shade on top of it, it almost transformed it to a like a lighter bluish shade, like it actually mixed. Let's see if this, okay, so this cream shade, this peach shade is, I don't like it as much as the blue shade, but you know, it's working well. Like it does have a nice texture. This doesn't really remind me so much of the cream. It has kind of a silky, velvet is not a bad way to describe it. I was told micro velvet. So I could see that. It does have a velvety feel. It does go on nicely. So it's not as creamy. It's a little bit more powdery than the cream, at least looking at it right now. Let's take the taupe shade. Yeah, there's more kick up to it, you know, if you know what I mean. And let's try, see, this shade is the shade that's like most impactful of all of these. I think the taupe shade is gonna be the shade that really like sells this, because what it is, it's, you know, I'm gonna look at it next to Metallust, but it has that kind of sheen. It is quite nice. So I would be tempted to put this on just all over the eye because it's just so pretty. I'm just lightly sweeping to kind of blend it in. Let's take the deeper shade, and as you can see by the swatches, it's like a deep gray. It does have a coolness to it. Yeah, you can see just with the liner how deep that is. So you could definitely smoke this out really easily, which we're gonna do, but I want, you know, one of the things that I often get is people say, well, I would never do a look that dramatic, which I totally get. So that's why I try to like put things on and then add to it so you can see how you can take it from like a daytime, really easy, not too much look to something, you know, more impactful. So like that right there, you know, is pretty impactful all by itself. But you could take any one of, like, you could take the cream shade, you could take this shade, just use it as like an all over eye look, and then just use this as liner or this as liner. You'd use this all over the eye. I mean, I think this is actually pretty multi-use for, you know, trying to come up with something that's not as dramatic. So now I'm going to take this deep shade to smoke this out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is start on the outer corner of the eye, just like this, just push it in. And I'm going to build it out like past the eyebrow a little and underneath. See what I mean? Do the same thing on this eye. Yeah, with like a little bit of like false lashes if you do something like that. I don't do false lashes, but if you were to, yeah, you would definitely get a very smoky look with this. And then I will take that blue shade and line underneath my eyes with it on top of the gray, just making it like more smoky, more intense. And then I will draw it along the top lash line. Now I'm going to take that cream shade and I'm just going to use it to soften up the top a little. It's kind of like a peachy cream shade. I don't have a lot on the brush and it's a very soft brush, but I'm just softening the transition. Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic look, very smoky look. But gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Now, the thing I'd say is though, right, this is not a light look. I mean, you have the lightness of the peach in there, but the whole point of this is a smoky eye look. And in fact, you could take this shade, put it all over the eye, and then just smoke it out with this and it'd be really deep, if that's something you're interested in doing. So now I'm gonna take the taupey shade, the shimmer shade, the special shade in here, and I'm gonna put this on the eye. I'm gonna use a Kolinsky brush to do it. Yeah. This is a deep taupe. This is not a light look, but again, if we're going for a super smoky shade, a super smoky look. Now I'm gonna leave the really light cream on the inner corner. Little bit of fallout here, but that's my fault. I didn't push off the brush enough. Just blending a little. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful quad. I mean, deep. There's no doubt about it, but I think it's stunning. All right, let's look at it next to Metallust, and then I'll pull out Eden Rock so we can see it against the blue, because I'm almost positive it's like the same blue, or very close anyway. So here's the new shade in here. It's super silky, like I said. Like it's easy to go on. Like it's just like whoosh. You'll see what I mean. It's not so much creamy. It is creamy, but it's like silky. It's not like creamy. Like it doesn't feel like it has moisturizer in it. It feels like it has silk in it. It's hard to explain, but that's the best way I can explain it. All right, so let's take the Metallust. Yeah, see, the Metallust is lighter and more sparkly. This is more satiny. I'll put both the shades from Metallust so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is Iconic Smoke. These two are from Metallust. This is the closest, like, shade-wise. You see how it's like the same coolness? You can see how much lighter it is. This is a much deeper shade and more impactful and richer, thicker, you know? If I were to take this from Metallust, for example, instantly see like the sparkle. See, it's a much more sparkly shade. This is a satin, impactful shade. Again, though, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful quad. I do think you can make this every day. I absolutely do. But I do think it's going to lend itself to a smoky eye look because it's Iconic Smoke. But yeah, this is one of the few, you know, I was making light, I shouldn't admit, I was saying the other day how Tom Ford is hit or miss. This is a hit. I love this. Okay, let me grab the Eden Rock. Let's take a look. Here's Eden Rock. Iconic Smoke. And there's another color story that's very similar to this in Tom Ford. I just can't think of what it is right now, but I'll find it. All right, so here's the blue shade in Eden Rock, and here's it in Tom Ford. Eden Rock, Tom Ford. The Eden Rock is a little bluer and the Tom Ford is a little grayer, but very similar colors, which is why I liked it immediately. I was like, yeah, like I said, the Eden Rock is bluer and the Tom Ford Iconic Smoke is grayer, but very similar in look. Yeah, I love this quad, guys. I think it's beautiful. I really like the way it turned out on the eye. The formula is different than the creams, a little different than the Violet Smoke or the Khaki. I feel like this one is... Velvet is a good way to describe it. It has a velvety texture. It's still creamy, but it's, you know, it's velvety. And these shades, like the blue and the gray shade, and even the creamy goldish shade, they are not as impactful as the shimmer, satin, whatever shade that you want to call this thing. But you can see this one is stunning. And like, just to put that all over the eye would be beautiful, in my opinion. Like, I just think that would be gorgeous. Or if you took the creamy shade and just used that on top of it. Or if you use this and then just put the gray. I mean, it's a really nice quad. Is it a light quad? No. What it's missing for probably a lot of people is something like this very light cream. You know, some people will probably would want a very, very light shade. But what I would say is this is called Iconic Smoke. So it does fit its name, in my opinion. So I absolutely think this is a buy it now type of quad. I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes a little faster. Will I buy a backup of it? I do have a backup of a Violet Smoke and the Khaki. Those two I do have backups. Because it was the same formula as Coco Mirage, and as far as I could tell, and Coco Mirage went out, it disappeared and never came back. And it was like my favorite quad of all time. So when he came out with the creme formula and I wasn't sure if he was ever going to do it again, I did buy 2 of each of those. I'll just be honest. Because I wish I had done that with Coco Mirage. However, this one, now that I know that this is a little bit different of a formula, I don't know. We'll have to see how much I use this. But I will tell you, in my opinion, if you're somebody who likes these shades, especially if you like a smoky eye look, I would definitely say go ahead and pick this one up. Rhiannon has it at Nordstrom. I've talked to all of you about her. She's great. Marae is also at Nordstrom. She's in Atlanta. She's lovely as well. You can order directly from them. You can get them online. They're at Neiman's, Nordstrom's, Saks, Sephora, I think. It does, of course, help me if you shop from my links, but even if you don't shop from my links and you like this color story, I would certainly recommend you buy it because this is really beautiful. You know, it is a lot of money. It is a very expensive quad. Sometimes these things, you know, there are sales out there. There are 20% off and those types of things. If you can get it on sale, absolutely do so. I don't know how limited this is, to be blunt. My understanding is that these were limited edition, but I'll try to verify that and put it down below one way or another. So, you know, the thing about these things is that sometimes, as we all know, it says limited edition and you can get it for like a year. And sometimes it's limited edition, like Metallust, and you can't even get it when it comes out. So I just want to be honest and not, like, you know, give anybody any false thoughts one way or another. If you love it and you think it's your favorite thing you've ever seen, I would suggest just buying it. If, however, you're like, yeah, it's really nice, but I have a ton of makeup, wait for a sale. And if it's gone, it's gone, and it's, you know, it's makeup. You can always find other makeup. Plus, like I said, the blue in there is very close to Eden Rock, like super close. The creamy, goldy shade in there, I think we can find, you know, somewhere else. This one I haven't seen. The taupe, the intensity and satiny of that taupe, I'm gonna have to look for. Because if you see it next to Metallust, you can see that there's a definite difference there. The gray I have somewhere, the deep gray that I smoked it out with the most, that, yeah, I have that too. But the taupey shade, I'm not sure I have it like that. I'm gonna have to start looking for. I mean, I have similar colors, absolutely. But the way that looks, the richness of that, that's very well done. All right, guys. So that's it for me today. I would love to hear if you picked this up, if you're thinking of picking it up, what your thoughts are if you already have it. And yes, I will be picking up the Ember, whatever the Ember one is, soon as well. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in another video really soon.